Remember the days when editing a video meant physically cutting tape or wrestling with clunky software that felt like it was built in the Stone Age? Fast forward to now, and yes, tools have come a long way. But even with all the progress, there's still a gap between recording a long, helpful conversation and turning that into dozens of snackable viral clips you can actually post across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts without losing your mind. That's where Vizard comes in, and honestly, it's become my go-to when I need to turn long-form content into real social traction. First, quick context. Vizard isn't another recording studio app. If you're using Riverside to get pristine local recordings or Descript for transcript-based edits, that's cool. They each have their place. Riverside is killer for recording high-quality interviews and live streams. Descript is great for text-based edits, but both can leave you doing the repetitive, boring work of chopping up highlights, resizing for platforms, and scheduling posts. Premiere Pro will let you do anything if you have a week and a PhD in keyframing. Vizard sits in that sweet spot. It automates the part creators actually hate doing, and it does it smartly. Okay, here's how I usually use it. You start with your long video. Could be a podcast, an interview, a webinar, or a 45-minute YouTube episode. Upload it to Vizard or connect your YouTube channel or cloud storage. The platform analyzes the whole file using AI, and within minutes it generates a set of short clips it thinks will perform well. These aren't random cuts. Vizard's Auto Editing Viral Clips feature looks for spikes in energy, punchlines, emotional beats, and clean sound moments to pick the segments people are most likely to rewatch and share. The first time I tried it, I was like, wait, it actually picked my best takes! And it did. What makes this different from other tools? Some tools give you a transcript and let you manually highlight parts, which is useful, sure, but Vizard pairs that transcript intelligence with performance heuristics. So instead of you guessing which 30-second pieces will go viral, the AI suggests them, ranks them, and gives you ready-to-post edits. It even adds captions automatically, and the animated caption presets look way more polished than the auto caption slap-on you sometimes see elsewhere. Now the editing workflow is nice and quick. You can preview each suggested clip, tweak the start and end points, swap caption styles, change aspect ratio for TikTok, Reels, or landscape, and export. Or, and this is the game changer, you can push the clip straight into the auto-schedule queue. Tell Vizard how often you want posts to go live. Daily, every other day, 3x a week. Pick which platforms you want to target, and it handles the posting. No more spreadsheets, no more late-night back and forths trying to figure out what to post next. The auto-schedule frees up so much time. But I don't want this to sound like marketing fluff. There are concrete things I love, and a few places where you still want to keep an eye on it. The clips the AI picks are almost always on target, but sometimes you'll want to tighten a beat or add a tiny context card at the top for clarity. Totally fine and easy to do. Vizard gives you a quick editor to trim, change captions, add a simple intro overlay, or swap music. It also respects audio levels well. If the original episode has a loud laugh and then quiet talk, Vizard normalizes things so the clip doesn't make people scramble for their volume knob. Another feature you shouldn't sleep on is the content calendar. If you manage multiple shows, channels, or social accounts, Vizard's calendar is like a war room for repurposing. You can see what clips are scheduled, drag and drop to reschedule, add notes, and coordinate across team members. Compared to cobbling together a calendar in Google Sheets and a bunch of browser tabs, this centralization is a legit time saver. And if you're doing repurposing at scale, you'll actually start sleeping better. Let's talk formats and captions for a second, because this is where most creators waste a ton of time. Vizard automatically generates captions and gives you several animated styles. They don't feel like an afterthought. They look native to the platform. You can also batch change aspect ratios, which is surprisingly rare in tools that aren't full-blown NLEs. Want the same clip in 9:16 for TikTok, 4:5 for IG feed, and 16:9 for YouTube? Vizard can adapt layouts and reframe the shot quickly, and it attempts smart crops so the important bits stay in frame. It won't be perfect for every single shot. If someone walks across the frame, you might need to adjust, but 80–90% of the time it's solid and saves hours. Here's another neat trick. The platform can remove silences and filler words automatically. So if your long video has 45 minutes of and awkward 3-second pauses, choose the Tighten option and Vizard will smooth it out to keep the pacing snappy. The result is a cleaner clip that keeps viewers engaged without sounding robotic. Comparison time, because I know you'll ask, how does this stack up against tools like Riverside, Descript, or Premiere? Riverside is still the best for recording pristine, local tracks. If you're running multi-person remote interviews, record with Riverside and then import to Vizard for repurposing. Descript gives you killer transcript-based editing and overdub, which is invaluable in some workflows, but it's not built to mass surface viral clips or auto-schedule them. Premiere is infinitely flexible, but is overkill for repurposing. Tedious manual work, heavy exports, and high cost for what you need. Vizard isn't trying to replace any of these for their strengths, it's trying to replace the hours of tedious dismantling and rescheduling you do after the recording. Collaboration is smooth too. You can invite teammates to review suggested clips, leave comments, or approve the posting schedule. If you're working with a social media manager, they can manage the calendar and track what's been posted without you needing to export a single file. For creators who churn out lots of long-form shows, that single integration, from long video to clip to scheduled post, is a massive productivity gain. Now about the downsides. If you want granular color grading, advanced transitions, or complex motion graphics, you'll still want to hop into Premiere or After Effects. Vizard is built for speed and output, not for replacing an editor who makes cinematic ads. Also, because it's AI-driven, you should still give every clip a quick human pass. The AI is smart, but context and nuance sometimes need a human touch. A quick demo flow so you can picture it. Record a 60-minute interview, upload to Vizard. It scans and auto-generates 20 suggested clips. You preview 6 of them, tweak captions and the end card, change 2 to vertical format, schedule 3 to go out over the next week, and push the rest into the content calendar for later. All that in less time than it takes to export a single sequence from Premiere. Vizard also helps with longer form outputs. If you want a condensed highlight reel of the episode, there's an option to compile the best bites into a single short, which is perfect for a trailer or promo. And for creators who want to repurpose without losing quality, Vizard keeps original resolution and codecs intact during processing, so your clips look sharp across platforms. To wrap up, if your goal is to maximize the mileage from long-form content, Vizard is a massive multiplier. It doesn't replace great recording tools or pro editing suites. It complements them by doing the heavy repurposing and distribution work automatically. For creators who want to be consistent on socials without spending all their time in an editor, the auto-editing viral clips, auto-schedule, and content calendar features together are a game changer. Try it on your next episode. Upload the raw file, let Vizard find the moments, and see how much easier posting becomes. If you already use Riverside or Descript, keep using them for what they do best. Just add Vizard to your stack for the repurposing and publishing part, and watch your content reach far more viewers with a fraction of the effort.